So the seam goes down the middle of the leg, okay? In that way. And this seam down the middle. And then when you want to have, you don't want to cover the name, so I'm going to double check and make sure. The nice thing about having the body completely open right here, I'm able to go in and easily see what I'm doing compared to. Now this is just a tad looser on both sides, so I'm going to tighten that up by adding some stitching. I'm going to make double sure that I still have it in the position, because this doll needs to be almost like, kind of like a frog. Legs are out, arms are out and up, legs are out and up, okay? Just making double sure. And you want to make sure you don't have your limbs on backwards. That wouldn't be good. Okay, so bring it down. Straight down. I want the seam flush to the top there. And I've already got my strong upholstery type thread, my little pliers here. They're like wire, I think there's a type for wires, like twisting wires and things, so you want to make sure they're clean. And your thread, you don't want extremely long, because it'll just get twisted every time you pull it through. So go with a shorter thread. I talked about this in the beginning on the arms. Just going through here and going to make my knot and tighten up the leg a little bit closer here, as if my sewing machine did it, because I should have stitched just a little bit tighter here, so I'm doing that now. And don't ever like poke too hard on the needle. It'll go through your finger. I already did that earlier. I've got like a little spot, but I had a band-aid on it for quite a while. And so I'm going to go through. I can always readjust this as I get to the other side. That would be the inside. So when you go through here, I'm going to go in, going in below, just right below the pre-stitched holes. This tail so I'm not confused about it being my thread. I feel like the arms were a little bit thinner and softer than the thigh right here. So bring this into the light here so you can see I'm just right below that upper stitch line. You see that? Get that in focus there. I'm going to put this down here and work where you can see. And my finger is kind of tender, so I'm going to put a Band-Aid on my finger. And you could do that to start with. Give your finger that you're using to push, to start your, because you do use your finger to push in slightly before you use your tool. So it was just right here on the tip. Whatever finger that you find that you're using. I think I used this finger last time, and I'm tending to use ones that don't bother me right now. Once you get it kind of in the position, then you can pull it through. It's the back of the leg here that has the D. Wilkins name. So when I get to this point back here, I'm going to make sure I'm not covering the name and the year. Basically, the arms were about a little under 30 minutes per arm, but then I'm also doing a video. I don't know if I would have been faster not doing a video, because I'm trying to keep the camera on what I'm doing, and I might have been able to go a little bit faster. So I'm going, they're like back stitches. I go forward one and back one. You could heat up your vinyl with like a hair dryer or something, or a little hot pad, but it's not that hard. I've worked on vinyls that were much thicker and harder to stitch like this. So this baby deer vinyl is somewhat softer than some of the other dolls I've worked on. It's nice, the thigh opening is much larger than the arm when you're pulling the needle through. Felt like I had to bend the needle up a little bit. They do have rounded needles, but I can never get a grip on those rounded ones. I mean, I guess you would use these little pliers, but still, just to hold on to it and get it started, they slip out of my fingers. Okay, I've just edited this video slightly so that I can just pause in between as you're getting ready and you're watching. I want you to realize that I did sew the body up to about here, which gives you less than 6 inches to have to stitch up. Now, if you don't want me to have this open for you to have easy access to, you know, really as a beginner seeing what you're doing, maybe you're very comfortable with having a fully closed body and only work through this neck hole area here. If you're comfortable with that and you want me to stitch up the body completely, I won't do it like this, okay? So my first bodies that I'm made the tutorial for was to be an easy solution for so many people that have difficulty thinking of how they're going to stitch from the inside. And let me just show you, you already saw the beginning of my video, but so you saw how I had it open a lot more here. Now that I have it stitched up to about here, I want you to see how easy it still is for me to get my hand in here and, you know, work with that. Now I want to show you the difference. I can get my hand, I can't get my hand all the way inside there, okay? So that means you're going to have to cinch things up. And let's just put a leg in here. So the leg would be in this position. And in my video, you're lining up the seam to go down the middle of the leg. It's supposed to lay in that way, okay? So to do this through the neck hole, if you didn't want it open, you would then reach in, just like you're going to put some stockings on. You got to cinch that up there. Then you're going to put and then you're going to have to try, and this is for people that want to do it this way. I have no problem stitching up the back, okay? So what you're going to do is bring that leg all the way through the neck hole, get this cinched down, get that around here, and then you line it up and you start stitching all the way around, and then when you're done you pull it out and you didn't have to stitch up the back, okay? That's all great. If that's how you want to do it, I can send them out that way. So I'm going to show you even with the armhole. It would be this arm, and you would put it in, you kind of put it in reverse because it's going to go in that way, okay? So line it up, same thing, the seam goes down the middle towards the elbow, and you're coming up through the neck hole. Okay, and then you follow the rest of my tutorial, stitching it all the way around. So if you prefer it that way and you don't want to have the back open, there was another reason why I like the back open, to be able to, you know, after I get my limbs, after your limbs are all on there, then there's the filling part. Now you could pre-fill your limbs before you start stitching, so at least you've got everything in there how you want it before you start stitching, and then you don't have to, you know, fuss with trying to get your hand, you know, in there. I guess you would cinch it back up again and fill your legs and everything, and then when it comes to filling the body, you fill it all through the neck hole. Get your head on there, put your original wire, if you like, back on there. But then what if the next day you're like, oh, I wish I would have like been able to add more here or take out something here. The idea of my drawstring and putting the head on there and continuing to fill the inside or take out something, you don't have to take the head off. You can reach in there easily and readjust things. Later, a day or two later, after you know it is perfect, it's exactly how you want it to feel, you can slide the drawstring off, put whatever you want in there for your neck. I'm giving you matching thread. It will come wound around my card like this. You're going to get thread, and you're going to get a needle, same needle I used to do the stitching. You're going to get thread also to be able to stitch the limbs on. You'll be able to go back here and just hand stitch nice little seams, little seam going up the back. In the future, if you needed access in there and you didn't want to remove your head, you could undo your little stitches right here. So that's kind of why I did that. A lot of people are getting, you know, a vintage doll and they don't know where to open it up at, and I do see a lot of backs that have already been opened up to about here and restitched. So anyway, so if you want a different color body too, this is, I'm undecided whether to call this a beige or cream. It kind of looks like a kind of an ice cream vanilla color. I'm going to lay one of my dolls out so you can see. This one is a flesh tone, a very light flesh tone. It doesn't have an orange hue. It has more of a pink, light flesh pink. And then of course this is my pink. This is a doll that hasn't been restored yet, but she has a lot of, like if you look real close, there's some pink still left in this seam that's underneath the fabric. That I can see pink. I see pink stitching. So maybe she was once more close to this color, which is the flesh in a pinkish tone. If you look at that, I don't know if you can see that in the camera. This pink looks like this pink right here. This is all age discoloration. There's some yellowy tones, but here again you see this pink fleshy fabric. So if you want the original, this is more of that color. If your doll doesn't have any hints of pink or anything, and you think that the more of a natural beigey color would be what you want, then ask for this one. I will get more shades. And if you just want to just, you know, make it something totally different and pink, then you could choose that color. This here is a baby deer original, and look at the pink. She wasn't pink when I got her. She was a dirty body, and she probably looked similar to this. And when I cleaned her up, it took many days to just I was patient, and I, you know, kept, you know, doing, it was OxyClean that I used, and there's several different OxyCleans. There is one that you don't want to get, that you're just going to make your doll stink because it's got a deodorizer in there, and if you want your doll smelling like a cat litter smell, don't get that one. The one that I like, I'm going to show you. This is the OxyClean, and it doesn't have anything that says deodorizer on it, okay? Sometimes when you get something that they're adding scents to, it's just going to make your doll stink. This one I loved over the other one. The other one I hid in my garage because I don't even want anybody in my household using that OxyClean. There is detergents and fabric softeners that I can't stand the scent that they add. So I'm saying that this OxyClean, this is a refill bottle. It comes with the squirt, you know, smaller version. And I will share a video how I cleaned this body. It took several days. It was once probably this, and it became this very pale, fleshy pink tone, and that's why I decided to come out with some pink shades. So this was just a pink option. I was thinking of, I love in my nursery, I love things that are pink. So when her clothes are off and she's wearing that, not this one, but any of my other dolls, it's just like, it's like her underwear is pink, okay? So then I got this the other day, and I was hoping it's a pretty much exact match. In this lighting and different lighting, this might come off a different color, but right now, this looks like a very close match to the original. And so not everybody knows that if you keep cleaning, your doll might end up looking this pink, okay? Or maybe it won't, and this would be the color that you want because you think that the original is more this shade, or it once was that shade. I don't know. I just know that 2 of my top knots were so dirty and so fragile, I just tossed out the fabric. So maybe my top knots were more of a neutral body color. I don't know. Anyway, I love this fleshy pink tone, and then I also love the option of just doing something different and this pink. So it's up to you what you want to do, if you want to make it your, you know, your own. Anyway, when you order now from me, there are going to be some choices, and I just wanted to throw that in on this video and know that they will come open in the back here, and you can stitch this up beforehand if you want, before you even get going, but you might want to do it afterwards, okay? If you want a custom order where I stitch up the back completely, please let me know in advance before it gets shipped out, okay?